Hello, all, and welcome to Pollinator Month at the Milwaukee Public Library. As the weather warms up, it's time to open up the beehives and check on the bees. They've spent the winter huddled together in their home, keeping warm and eating their honey stores to survive. Today, the beekeepers are doing a hive inspection. They want to check that everything is in order inside, see that the bees are healthy, and that the hive is all set for the summer months to come. Today, we'll be focusing on honeybees, otherwise known by their scientific name Apis mellifera. The first step is to take the lid off the hive to get to the lower box. Starting from the outside, we remove the frames one by one, inspecting them and cleaning off any residue. The first frames are far off at the edges, and the bees probably didn't use them during the winter. Too far away from the center means it's too cold, and the bees don't like that. This frame is clean and unused. Let's move on to the other ones. You can see the bees are all clustered together around the central frames. That's where the action is happening and where we want to go. Okay, so we can tell that the queen bee in this hive is active. Take a look at the open cells on this frame and see if you can spot the white larvae. The larval stage is the first step in a bee's development after it hatches from the egg laid by the queen. Once a larva has eaten and grown big enough, the cell is capped and the grub develops into a pupa, the next stage. Those cap cells are the yellow ones we can't see inside of. After about a week or two, a pupa will transform into an adult bee and chew her way out. Here's another frame. Can you spot what's different on this one? Yes, what is this weird looking part over here? That's called a queen cup. The queen cup is a special type of cell for a queen bee, but this one isn't in use. We can see that it's still quite small and uncapped. The worker bees have made it as a precaution, just a placeholder in case they ever need to make a new queen. While the younger bees are inside the hive, feeding the grubs honey and pollen and raising the next generation of workers, other older bees are out there flying around in backyards, in our gardens, and in our parks in search of flowers for their nectar and pollen. On this frame, we can see that some of the cells are filled with orange and yellow powder. That's the pollen bees have collected and brought back to the hive. As pollinators, the bees also deposit a little pollen along the way at each flower they visit. And of course, bees mean honey, and these honeybees have already gotten started this year. Can you see the clear liquid inside the comb? Some of the honey is all finished, and you can tell because the workers have capped those cells with a pale wax. Sadly, today we didn't get a chance to see the queen bee. She was probably in the upper level of the hive, but we saw plenty of evidence of her activity around the lower level. The bees look to be pretty set for the summer season. The beekeeper will keep an eye on the hive activity, adding more frames when the bees need more space. Finally, we'll cover up the hive and place the roof on top to protect the bees from the rain. And that's the end of today's hive inspection. Thanks for taking along as we explored with our local pollinators. Visit your local Milwaukee Public Library branch or our homepage at mpl.org for more pollinator related activities and books. This year, we have our own book list with titles and recommendations for all ages.